Sup, YouTube? I'm gonna do another reaction. This is a 23-minute and 8-second video of The Odd Ones Out. I love this guy. He talks about reaction channels like what I'm doing. Yeah, tune in my Pokemon stuff. Okay. Yeah, he mentions stuff like this. Me reacting. Besides the point, 23-minute video. The movie that's too scary for baby James. This looks pretty funny to react to. I got 8 seconds to spare. Oh, sheesh. Let's watch. Wow, this is a long video. Tune in my Doctor Who. Tune into my Doctor Who. Follow me on Twitter for more stuff like that. Doctor Who. I've followed some stuff from Doctor Who officials forum stuff. All right, let's watch this one. I'm a big fan of this guy. Been a fan for over a year. Yeah, like him. Yeah, like his little. Anyway, 3, 2, 1.
James, you said you were
Sock
going to make
puppet.
a teacher's part 2. I didn't subscribe to fake news. I know. Don't worry, I'll do that next video. But right now we're doing this. So my friend Your Movie Sucks, great channel, over 500,000 subs, asked me and a bunch of other YouTubers if we could talk about a movie that scared us as a kid. Now, growing up, I wasn't allowed to watch scary movies. I remember one time my parents were watching a movie downstairs, and I went down to see what all the noises were about, and my mom said, "Oh no, honey, you can't watch this, it's too scary." And then years later, I learned that the movie they were watching was Jurassic Park. I think I could have handled it, Mom. I don't know if you could tell by the length of this video, but it's going to be pretty different than the videos that I usually post. But I think it's good to try out new things, and hopefully we'll all have a fun time listening to me talk about this movie. Because, folks, I'm excited to share with you the movie that traumatized me most as a kid, and that movie is, drumroll please,
Titanic.
You've already read the title, The Dark Crystal. Okay, so The Dark Crystal came out in 1982, 14 years before I was even born. This movie was made for a whole different generation of people, but somehow I still saw it. I don't remember how I saw it, my family didn't own it on VHS, and I forget how old I was exactly, but let's say for the sake of this video, I saw this movie when I was 17, because that's legally still a child. This movie was directed by Frank Oz and freaking Jim Henson. Jim Henson is the creator of, I don't know if you've heard of this, but The Muppets. You might have seen them before. There's no denying that Jim Henson was a very talented man when it came to puppets, and the work he did on The Dark Crystal is amazing. As much as I'm about to talk this movie down, it's honestly a work of art. The most enjoyment I got rewatching it was just the artistic appreciation of the character design, the scenery, the costumes, and most importantly, the puppetry. Some of the puppetry was amazing, like this shot. How'd they do that without CGI? And did I mention that there's no people in this film, except for full body shots? Then they just used a real person dressed up and had them not face the camera. But as I rewatched The Dark Crystal, I realized that the movie was kinda garbage. So instead of talking about the parts of the movie that scared me as a child, I'm going to be talking about why this movie was pretty bad. So now this video just turned into one of those bad movie review videos, but honestly, I like watching other people talk about bad movies, like The Room and Birdemic and what was that other one? I can't quite put my paw on it. For this video, I ended up doing some research, something I don't normally do for videos, and oh man is this rabbit hole deep. Jim Henson had a bunch of ideas for the world of The Dark Crystal, but wasn't able to fit all of his ideas into 90 minutes of film. And because he didn't explain the rules of the world well enough,
very gory.
The movie suffered. It felt unfinished and unstarted. Basically, the movie didn't leave you wanting more, it just left you thinking, wait, what? Some of you might be thinking, well, James, it's just a kid's movie. Kids are dumb. Why are you analyzing a kid? Shut up. Brian Froud, one of the head artists of the movie, even said that when we finished the film, we knew that we had only seen a fragment of this other world. Bad fragment, I guess. So even the creators of this movie felt that they left out a lot of stuff. So in 2012, a 3-part comic book was published to be as a prequel to the movie, and I bought and read all 3 of them. And I will say that they did do a better job explaining the world that Jim Henson had in mind, but you shouldn't have to read a book before you see a movie. Especially since the books weren't available until after the movie came out. In the movie, stuff happens for no reason. Like in one scene, the main character, this is Jen, the main character, by the way. Get used to looking at this guy's face. I've done so much digging and research into this world that I'm completely desensitized by how weird this puppet is.
Like, do I find it cute or do I, or not?
Just be thankful this is what you ended up with. So in this scene, Jen is trying to pick out which of the crystal shards is the right one that he needs for his quest. And what does he do to find the right one? That's right, he plays his flute, and then the right shard he needed just glows. Wouldn't you do that too if you were in the same situation? This movie doesn't explain why the crystal likes his music. It doesn't come up later. It just happens. That's basically this whole
You
movie.
don't need to explain it. It's the world of enchantment.
Here we go,
Like,
children.
for example,
Hold my hand
like
and
there's
take you on a
light,
magical
like there's
journey.
light
Not
again.
too magical that it doesn't make sense. That is the dark crystal.
Being random here. More light. More light.
The plot. It starts with a narrator telling us that there's this world and
that's the reference from Red Letter Media. I know that. I watched those.
They don't mention it once in the movie, but in the prequels
The
and
characters.
the Wikipedia article, they all called it Thra. Okay. Thra is dying because this one crystal, this one, cracked. How? I don't know. I mean, I do know because I read the prequels, but this movie doesn't tell us. Are you still with me? Good, we're not even a minute in. Because this crystal cracked, 2 new species were born. The cruel Skeksis, the bad guys, and the gentle mystics, the good guys. And both species are dying. Now, I'm no biologist, but I think they're probably dying because there's no woman. That would wipe out a species pretty quickly, I think. Instead of having women, the Skeksis use the crystal to make them young again. Maybe. It's either the crystal or the sun.
So too they learn to draw new life from the sun.
Okay, so then what do you need the crystal for? Now we see the good creatures, the mystics, and with the mystics lives another creature called a gelfling. It's like an elfling, but with G. You may remember him from earlier. He's naked now. Meet your protagonist, Jen. This movie makes up so many words. Just try to keep up.
The journey must begin. The journey of Jen.
Okay, that's a little pretentious movie. Alright, let's tone it down a little. Then we see that the Emperor Skeksis is dying, oh no, and then we get the second scariest scene in the whole movie.
Hi.
Yeah, we're not even 15 minutes in.
I came out of nowhere.
Nightmares. Then
Like
the
this
mystic
amethyst.
that's basically Jen's dad.
It's my
also
gem.
dying.
And
He tells Jen that he needs
I
to
think,
find
just like the crystal,
crystal,
it makes
the
sense.
shard, and then he just needs to
The light
plop
would
that
help
sucker
it.
back in the crystal where it
Double
belongs. And
lights.
then boom, boom, the world is saved. Again, they don't explain why doing
Appreciate
this would save the world.
appreciate
Like, they could
that-
at least try to
that-
make
the gem.
something up.
My,
Like once the crystal is fixed, women
so?
will appear. Jen's dad tells him to
Follow the greater sun for a day to the home of Ogra.
Now, I'm no astronomer, but I think following the sun for a day would just make you go in a circle. What am I supposed to do when it's noon? Now, the Skeksis, they're like, oh, well, dang it, guys. Who's going to be our new emperor? This Skeksis, named Chamberlain,
It's time to make my move.
who is my second favorite character in this whole movie, thinks that he should be emperor. I mean, who wouldn't want
Time to
be
make
emperor
my
like
move.
8
I
other
thought you were going to say,
persons?
my
The way you
movie.
can remember that this Skeksis is Chamberlain is that every time he's on camera, he says this. Hey man, you can't be emperor, says the Skeksis. Oh yeah? Fight me for it, replied Chamberlain. Since these two are puppets and don't have lower bodies, they can't actually fight each other, which is super disappointing. So instead, the two have a competition to see who can hit a rock the hardest, because that's how you tell who's fit to lead. You can't have someone be your emperor when they can't even hit a rock that hard. Anyway, Chamberlain loses, and all the other Skeksis banish him and rip up his clothes. Okay, now hold on. Do you see what's funny about this screenshot?
It's a family
This
picture.
Skeksis is wearing glasses, meaning in this universe optometrists exist, and this Skeksis had to go through an eye exam to get his prescription. Do you like number 1 or number 2? Does anyone else think that's funny? No? Alright. Anyway, after
You know what
the
else is funny?
Skeksis banish
If,
Chamberlain, they see in the crystal
if it
that
was
there's
made
this
now,
Gelfling
glasses-
walking around.
glasses
Yeah,
would
I didn't
have
know
shades.
crystal could snitch like that. So they send out these
A
crab
rich
monsters to get him.
shade.
And by the way, those
Rich
crab monsters
shade.
are called Garthams, and they are created by this handsome Skeksis. You
Yeah.
know that if you read the Wikipedia article. Anyway, back to Jen. What's he up to?
I'm not ready to go alone. All right? Alone then.
Took you long enough. Jen is supposed to follow the sun to Agura's house. Agura's? He runs into her, and she's this old hag who tells him that the 3 suns are going to line up soon, and when that happens, the world might end. Or it will begin. She doesn't know. I know because I've already seen this movie. She also, for some reason, has a box of crystals. One of them is the shard that Jen is looking for, but she doesn't know which.
Which one is it?
Don't know. So Jen narrows down the box of crystals to 3 shards.
It's one of these 3, I'm sure.
What? No, you've never even seen the Dark Crystal. How do you know it's one of those... Whatever, okay? I can roll with this. Then, if you remember, Jen gets the idea to play his flute at the shard, and then the correct shard just glows for some reason. Why does the crystal react to flute music? That's not a thing. Crystals don't have ears. Now, when you create a fantasy world, you can't explain everything. Sometimes the answer is just, oh, it's magic. In Frozen,
Exactly.
they don't explain how Elsa got her ice powers. She's just born with it, okay?
Yeah,
it's
just had it.
magic. And the audience is all okay with it, as long as they don't take it too
Like, you
far.
gotta accept
But this movie just tries to
Look how pretty my amethyst
It doesn't
is.
make sense. There's a line, and this movie crosses it multiple times. Then the crab people attack Agura's house, Jen escapes with a shard, boom, next day. Okay, I know I've been talking bad about this movie, but the amount of detail in this forest scene is pretty amazing. I mean, it's not doing anything to drive the plot forward, but I just think it's cool to look at. Anyway, back to review mode. Jen falls in the mud, what an idiot, and then he meets up with the... Oh, jeez, that's a girl! That's a girl! So there's a girl gelfling now. Her name is Kira.
I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
She's speaking gibberish. And then for some unexplained, unimportant reason, when they touch hands, they share memories. I mean, I don't know exactly what happens when you touch hands with another woman. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think that's supposed to happen.
What's happening?
We're dream fasting, sharing our memories.
I'm having a bath.
Okay, 3 things. First, this seems like a plot-devicey way to just throw in some backstory, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You
Second,
could just throw-
Jen, you just found out that you're not the last of your species, and when you realize that you're sharing memories with her, you decide to show this person you just met you having a bath. I mean, I guess she did show you her mom dying, so let's just get all that personal stuff out of the way. And
Oh, what
third,
else are you supposed to share? I mean,
somewhere on
his life,
there exists
life must
a
have
baby named
searching through the sun.
Jen puppet, and I need to
Holy
have it.
lights.
Then we're introduced to my third favorite character, Kira's dog, Fizzgate. He doesn't really add anything to the story, he's just that lovable pet/side character. Hey, that's a lot like my dog.
You find this weird, I mean... Oh. Yeah, he doesn't want to be bothered right now.
Okay. Then we're treated to this really great scene. A whole 2 minutes of the Skeksis eating. But honestly though, I kinda love this scene. It does a great job creeping me out. Okay, it does go on for a minute too long, but bear with me here. The Skeksis' clothing and silverware are Victorian, so it gives off a haunted mansion sort of vibe. And just the character design and the way the Skeksis are eating, it just comes off as unnerving. A lot of movies' scary parts are jump scares or gore. At least I think they do that. I'm not allowed to watch scary movies. But this is such a different way to unease an audience. It kind of reminds me of the first half of a Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared video. Nothing necessarily scary is happening, but it's still able to make the audience...
I never really watched those, so this is why. Okay, I just thought, oh, it's something stupid for kids, but it's a really creepy video
wow, okay,
where just random
release
weird
the
stuff
crystal
happens.
bats.
Crystal bats fly! Search the land! Search the water!
Kind of like the Wizard of Oz.
Okay, this might be nitpicking, and I'm no Gelfling expert, but I think you can rule out searching the sky. I don't see too many Gelflings just flying around. So one of the bats finds Jen and Kira. They go back to Kira's village. Jen doesn't even know where he's supposed to take the shard. His dad never told him what to do after he got the shard. He tells Kira about his quest and what Algura told him.
You know the 3 suns in the sky? They're going to come together soon. It's called the great something or other.
See, even Jen doesn't remember these made-up names. Really would have been convenient if you told her this information when you were sharing memories. So then the crab monsters show up and basically murder and capture Kira's whole family. Yeah, it was pretty traumatizing. And right when the crab monsters are about to attack Jen and Kira, Chamberlain comes out of nowhere. Remember the guy? He steps in between them and stops the attack, and Kira and Jen escape because Chamberlain...
That was creepy. I apologize.
Oh, and then Jen throws away the shard. Boom, next day. Kira finds the shard that Jen threw, and then the two find some hieroglyphics about a prophecy. It says a Gelfling is going to save the world and kill all the Skeksis. It doesn't matter. And then, oh, Chamberlain shows up. Hey, Chamberlain. Hey, guys, I'm sorry for killing your entire species. We just didn't want the prophecy to come to fruition. You understand, right? So what if we all go to the castle together, we can eat some food, and just have a gay old time and talk the whole thing over. What do you think? And then he says, please, a lot.
Please, 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 yes, please.
Now how can you say no to this lovable guy? He just got kicked out of the Skeksis club, he's all alone.
I mean, you gotta like a guy who
Just
just randomly goes,
monsters, and he did say
Every so often,
please
like
a lot.
Pegasus from
I'm
Yu-Gi-Oh.
just saying, if I was Jen, I totally would have trusted Chamberlain 100%. But instead, Jen just stares at him blankly, and then Kira ruins
He would
everything
look.
and
He looks
tells
kind of
Jen
like.
not to
He looks
trust
kind of
him,
like this.
and they run away.
Wait,
It's a Yu-Gi-Oh deck.
Yeah, it might have been the right call.
Kinda,
So then
wow.
for some reason, Kira
Does look
knows
really
where
like
the
it.
castle is, and since she can talk to animals, she calls up these things called landstriders. They're just a person walking on 4 stilts, and they ride the landstriders all the way to the castle. I have a lot of problems with this next scene. So one of the Skeksis takes a podling that they just captured, locks it into a chair, and tells the podling that they're going to suck its essence away and make it a slave.
It won't hurt.
Yeesh.
We just want to drain your living essence. Then you can be the same as the other podlings here. A slave.
You know, the podlings don't speak
You have it shaking
English. They speak a whole
like
different language.
triggered. It's not family. I'm just guessing what song that's
Skeksis
playing.
is just talking gibberish to this guy while he's just locked in a chair like, what's going on? Like, none of what you're saying is going through this guy's head. And so only the Emperor can drink the essence, and that will make him stay young forever. So what do you need the sun for? And also, what killed the last Skeksis? Looked like old age to me. Yeah, that's cool and all, but we get the most terrifying scene in the whole movie. That's right, this is the winner. You gave me the most nightmare scene. You win $1 million. Congratulations, scene! I can go on for hours about how this part of the movie gave me nightmares, but honestly, it speaks for itself. I think what made it worse was that the podling was tied down to the chair and he was just so helpless and his whole face melted off and just... Ugh! But now that I'm older, all I can think is, what do you guys need slaves for? So far, the only thing slaves have done was pull on a rope to make some swords appear out of the ground, and bring you guys a plate of food. Why is there such a high demand for slaves that you need to make new ones?
I would eat that
What do you
food.
guys even do all day? Then Kira and Jen arrive at the castle. They see the crab people taking in the pod people from Kira's village. They try and save the podlings, but completely fail. The landstriders die immediately. Jen and Kira open the cage that the podlings are in, and then the two get cornered. And what are they going to do, you ask? Well, isn't
Jump,
it
right?
obvious?
Jump.
They're going to jump and slowly float down to safety because Kira has wings. That never came up in the memory sharing bit. So I guess when the Skeksis told the crystal bats to search for the gelflings in the sky,
Take to the skies.
they weren't that far out.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
Kira,
have
sorry
to
we left
find
the
them
whole
in the
family
sky.
back there. We totally didn't save them, like, at all. We're probably going to
Oh,
get
gosh,
turned
guys,
into
like a
slaves
heartbeat.
now.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost done, everyone. We're getting to Climax Town. Jen and Kira sneak into the castle. Chamberlain's there. He basically murders Jen. And since he captured a gelfling, he's not an outcast anymore. You guys should have just went with him the first time. Now 2 landstriders are dead. Kira goes into the slave room, and as a kid, I was already so traumatized the first time seeing a podling get turned into a slave, and now seeing Kira getting her essence taken away, I lost my mind. Oh shoot! Kira's getting turned into a slave! Luckily, remember the old hag Agura? She's like, yo, you can talk to animals, just ask them to help you. Oh, okay. She breaks free, and the animals push the Skeksis that was in the room down this pit, and that kills them. Leading up to this point, it's hinted that the Skeksis and the Mystics are, like, connected. When something happens to a Skeksis, there's a Mystic counterpart that experiences the same thing. So when this Skeksis died, there was a Mystic just walking around that just... and none of the other Mystics react. Yeah, it happens. Then we see that the Mystics can control the crab monsters. I'm guessing it's because they're connected to the Skeksis, who also can control the crab monsters. So having a Mystic go with Jen on his journey in the first place would have been super helpful back when Kira's village was getting raided. Alright, let's just wrap this up. Fizzgig dies, Jen's not really dead, he finds the Dark Crystal, he jumps to it and then drops the shard. Kira has to throw the shard back to Jen, but while she's doing that she gets murdered. I
Oh,
said spoiler warning, right? And then Jen plops that sucker back into the
whatever.
crystal.
It's all good.
The castle crumbles around everyone and the world is saved. But first, the Skeksis and the Mystics walk into each other.
The world, you could say the world just
and
kept
they
on
become one again. And
spinning.
are you ready for this? They walk into each other and they turn into
Fidget spinner.
tree aliens. I'm not even joking. According to the prequels, these things are actually aliens. This is what the whole movie has been building up to. The bad guys are just one half of a schizophrenic alien tree person, and if you read the prequels, you'd know that. Is this supposed to be a plot twist? Because to me, it just seems like a plot is doing whatever it wants. So much weird, unexplained stuff has already happened in this movie, so at this point, I don't even care. By the way, Kira and Fizzgig don't actually die. This is a kid's movie, after all. And then the world is saved, even though there's only like 3 people who inhabit it now. The end. So that was the movie. Want to know something funny? I've already used more words in this video than there were words in the entire movie. Also, I need to ask, Jen was supposedly the chosen one.
At this time, Jen is the chosen one.
Well, this is how we're doing videos, words per minute, like an essay. And yeah, I have like half of what he has. I must have said only 1,000 words here.
She had to tell Jen to run. She found
Not
the
even.
on the ground after Jen threw it. She tells Jen
Not even
not
1,000.
to trust Chamberlain.
Better
She knew where the castle was and got the Landstriders to take them there. She used her wings to float Jen down to safety. She was able to get out of being.
So she's done everything. She's done everything in this movie.
And she threw the shard
She
back to
is
Jen
the
after his
Deus Ex Machina.
How did she get rewarded? By getting stabbed. All Jen did was play his flute at a magic rock. This guy's a doofus. Who chose Jen to be the chosen one? Bad choice. Now, I've said who my second and third favorite character in this movie is, but who's my favorite character? There's only like 3 other characters to choose from, so who could it be? Well, ladies and gentlemen, my favorite character isn't in this movie. My favorite character of the Dark Crystal universe is Rayunik, Agura's son. Okay, I know I just finished the movie, but let me talk about the prequel comics for a minute. Remember Agura, the old lady? Well, turns out she's an immortal being and has been around since the creation of this world. Alright, and one day a meteor hits the planet, and she, like anyone else would do, gives life to it. And out pops Rayunik. And he's basically the main character.
Like, I don't know how to give life. I would find it, if I would find a meteor, I would just just take it and just see what is it, like Chronicle. Will like give me powers? I'm just gonna deserve it.
If they ever make the prequels into a movie, I call dibs. I'm playing Rayunik. That's how it works. I call dibs. I'm playing this character. I just
who knows? James might even get a role in this movie if a remake were to occur.
Also, in the second,
no doubt,
Agura and her son are having.
No doubt, he'll get a movie role.
Will you remember me,
in this?
Mother? After all the
I predict that,
caused,
like Pokemon predictions.
I will never forget your child. Well, you didn't really seem to remember him in the movie. Also, if there's any producers watching, that was my audition just now to play Rayunik. Would I recommend you watch The Dark Crystal? Well, I did just spoil the whole thing, so no, it would be a waste of time at this point. But if I was talking to someone who hasn't watched this video, then yeah, I would recommend it. Even with all of its flaws, I still think it's a creative film, and I don't know, maybe it'd be fun to talk about it afterwards. Maybe I was desensitized doing all this research, but I also enjoyed the prequel comic books.
Dance magic, dance magic, dance magic, dance. Like Labyrinth has put a spell on me.
So these books don't even bridge the gap between the start of
Rest in peace, David.
It leaves still on a cliffhanger. These books still leave on a
Jump
cliffhanger.
magic, jump magic.
There were plans to make a sequel to The Dark Crystal, another movie, but the film ended up getting canceled. But a 12-part comic series is being produced by Boom Studios, and it's not even completed yet. They're only on like the 2nd installment. This is recent, you guys, so now is a great time to get into the Dark Crystal fandom. Like I said, I think The Dark Crystal is a creative story. Jim Henson really bit off more than he can chew making this movie, but seeing how many comics have been made to tell this story, maybe The Dark Crystal is told better through comics and not with the limitations of puppets from the 80s. Anyway, that's just what I thought about the movie. If you're hearing this, that means that you made it. This video, as of right now, is the longest video on this channel.
Yep.
I hope I was able to keep you entertained.
Yeah, you kind of did. It was okay.
Be sure to check out all the other YouTubers who participated in this collab thing. I don't know why I agreed to do this.
It's Alex Carter.
Make such long
like Tim Tom.
And not
Where's Jaden? Aren't you gonna? Someone ship Jaden. There's Jaden, but there's you there.
This end card after I finished.
Why aren't you holding hands?
Leaning
ship.
on the wall of my
You guys
closet.
ship.
I just wanted to be done.
That's cool.
I need to thank my friend Ginger Pale, who just went above and beyond and colored a lot of the pictures. So that's why some of the pictures look
Ginger Pale,
better
you're getting
than
a
the ones
new
that I
subscriber.
usually drew. Like I would just tell him, "Hey, draw this," and then he would just do it. Hi, I'm Ginger Pale.
I subscribe to Ginger Pale. Okay, so that was my video. Thank you for watching. Wow, that was so long. He was right. Yeah, longest video. I like 80s movies are so cool. They need to bring back puppets. They need to bring back puppets. None of the CGI stuff, you know? Right. Shoot. Like, James should be in a movie of Dark Crystal if they were to remake one. 2018 might be the year of the 8. The number 8 could be like 8 could define 80s again. We'll bring back the 80s stuff. And tune in with me for next time. Pokemon stuff. Doctor Who on May 6th. Today's May 5th. Bye. All right. Peace out.